Hello and welcome to Attention Span Labs. This is the promised Battle of Unter-Innsbruck, or Innsbruck underneath the poles. The stymied American thrust into German Pellucidar. Going to kick off again. I'm your host, Michael DiBaggio. I'll be playing the Americans. And my friend over there in the corner is Russ. He'll be playing the Germans, including the infamous 88, which he has never once been able to destroy anything with, including 3 side-on hits at 6 inches with an M7 against an M7 Priest in our previous Pellucidar games. So this was the battlefield as I showed you as I was making it. There's the machine shop for the Harbenite mine. Most of the town is beyond this, and this is the canal. This is the Innsbruck-Lohar industrial canal system. You see there's already some damaged boats in there from previous fighting, but mostly this town is intact and in German hands. You can see some prepared fighting positions over there. There's the church. The American goal is nothing less than they need to take this town and drive forward and capture it. It's an important industrial position, and it's sort of the key to the Lohar region. Lohar is an important Gilak German colonial city. You can see there's the infamous 88 with this crew. All right. So you can also see there's several cards on the table. These are blinds. Russ set them up. There are spots where something may be hidden but is not necessarily hidden. We'll be using the bolt action night fighting rules to try and spot them, to see if anything turns up. And then we'll also be using the rules I mentioned on Splendor of Fire to improve the fire and maneuver doctrine of both our sides. That includes squad splitting, improved suppression. We're basically going to have unlimited range on pretty much every weapon on the table except things like Panzerfausts and bazookas. And then we're going to apply the long range penalty after their maximum. So this is going to be more or less a true horizontal compression. Now, the other thing we're doing, I'm going to put the camera down for a second here. We're going to be using these support chits, these little red markers. I have 2 of them. These are promised fire support. And what we're also doing is any unit, we're saying pretty much all of our units are equipped with a radio. They can, instead of their normal action, they can give themselves a down order, basically, and it will they'll try and call in fire support, and these red tokens can be exchanged to re-roll any failed fire support rolls. So you have 4 of them, I think, 3 of them. 3. I have 2 of them, and we do have some onboard artillery. Russ, do you want to tell the audience? Go over to the German. So there's Germans pretty much everywhere. This is a German-controlled area, and the Americans here are just moving in. So do you want to? And we both know what our forces are, but not necessarily where everything is. So you want to tell them about any particular units you want to draw attention to?
As the only units on the board right now
that are visible
are the medium mortar and the 88.
So this three-man mortar team, that's an automatic mortar. That's from the Secrets of the Third Reich line, and this Pack 43 88 team, that's from Warlord, and they're dug in these ironclad miniatures positions. There may be more in there. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about?
All my other units are currently hidden, either behind walls, in buildings, or just waiting to spring a trap on the Americans.
Right. And there are 2 ways across here. Actually, there's more than 2. This is the main road bridge. That bridge is kind of, a trestle is kind of like a pipeline bridge, but vehicles cannot drive across it, but troops can walk across it. And there are some boats that could be commandeered to try something as in the way of the Longest Day, when Robert Redford assaulted across the bridge, and then the smoke failed. Okay, so you have how many order dice? 9 order die?
9.
All right, and I have 10 order die. Not much of an advantage since I'm the attacker, but I do have. I'll bring the camera around here. The only troops I have on the board so far that are visible, I have no hidden troops. I have a 7-man army squad there, regular army squad led by Sergeant Rock. We have almost no sci-fi units on the field. This is set in our, of course, sci-fi Weird War universe, but as of right now, there are no K-47 or superhero units involved. And then, so that's one order die. I have a Sherman, and behind them is Lieutenant, the 2-man command squad, Lieutenant Scanlon, and his he's a spotter and observer. I have a half-track mounted with a 10-man paratrooper squad, and there's another half-track also mounted with 10-man paratrooper squad, a medium machine gun team, a light mortar team, and a bazooka team, and they are all in reserve, and we'll have to come in. So I'm going to let the camera run, and we're going to play the game, and you're going to see it probably sped up, but I'm just going to let it run, and we'll talk at intervals, and otherwise you'll hear some interesting music as we're playing. But hope you enjoy this, and hope you test some of these rules yourself and let me know how they work. So I'm going to put this in a convenient spot, and we're about to make the first order pull. Russell has the bag, so please make your first draw.
You know, I probably should have taken my blind Germans out.
No, that's well, okay. You can just put me anyway. Okay. All right. So the first straw goes to the Americans. Okay. So the first action I'm going to give an advance order. I don't like the look of this, but I'm going to give an advance order to the half track here, mostly because I don't want to, if it's going to get blown up, I don't want to get blown up right there and then prevent anything else from coming on the road. So I'm going to give an advance, and I believe half track.
You got the short list right here?
Yeah, what's the
on the road? Let me see. It's 8. Oh, in advance. 9. Let me see. On
so
the road.
18.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's double.
Yeah, it's doubled. So I can.
That's not on here, which is really stupid. There it is. It's right there. Oh, that's just okay. Never mind. Yeah, 18. That's just the terrain it could go over.
Yep. So I'm going to advance it. Advance it to here, and then I'm just going to pull off to the side of the road.
Okay.
And
recon by fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a fire reconnaissance. I'm going to open fire here, and we'll do this. So I'm going to fire the guys are spooked. They see movement. They're going to fire one medium machine gun and one heavy machine gun. So that's a total of 5 and 3.
Shots.
That's 8 shots. I'll get all the dice here.
Here's my. I have purple die.
So as I said, we're doing the full. I don't know why I'm talking because I'm going to edit this stuff out. So we're going to 8 shots. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm without measuring. I'm sure that's not in the long range for any of them.
No.
But
which one are you shooting at?
In here.
Oh, okay, that blind.
But but there's going to be so what the way we'll do this is if I fire and if I hit anything, so it'll be at a -3, right? So I'll have to roll 6s.
Yeah.
But if you'll have to take we'll flip the card over, and you won't necessarily tell me if there's not anything there, or if there is a unit there. I will step out, and you will roll their leadership, including any pins if they got it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So, it's 9. So I'm going to roll. I need 6s. And I got 2 6s.
Okay.
Let me know when we come in.
Okay, so now I have to do what?
If there's a unit there,
Yeah. And if there's not?
you don't have to do anything, but you may want to pretend to have done something. So I don't know. And then what you would do is, if there's a unit there, count it as having taken a pin, and then take a leadership test. And if you fail the leadership test, you reveal the unit.
Yeah. Okay. So leadership test.
Oh, yeah. I guess what you're saying, like, I'm gonna. My paratrooper units are veterans. Everybody else is regular. And then I would say.
My Waffen SS will be veteran, and my Panzer Raiders will be regular.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So regular is. Why is this not on here?
Regular's 9, I think.
Okay, so 9. Oh, I'll roll into the front of the camera. Six. So I pass, right? Why don't I don't.
Yes, you pass.
Okay. So they stay put.
All right. If there's anybody there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next draw. Try and turn the light off here.
Hill's the bag. You again.
Okay. I'm gonna pause this.
Angle it either.
All right. I got the second order die. So I am going to.
That too. People will get motion sickness.
I'm gonna order a dismount, and I could do
You're
that
gonna get motion sickness trying to edit it.
because I advanced. So I'm gonna disembark that 10-man unit from here, and we're going to make a. And they're going to make a run. Actually, they're going to make an advance. They're going to fire first. This will be the first time of our new rules.
Where are they advancing to?
Well, they're going to advance on that building.
Oh, okay. Come on, Pip, out of the way. Move it. Move it. Don't let them lay down.
How does that look in there?
In where? Oh,
Camera.
I see the building.
That all?
Yeah, I see you guys now.
So they're going to make they're yeah, I said advance, so that's what they're going to do. They're going to advance first, and if they see anything, so they're going to advance up to here.
Okay.
The terrain is how we normally do it.
Yeah.
We'll deal with the terrain when we get to it.
Yeah,
but
it's not gonna...
going up
I know they're there.
going up a hill, you only advance up. You can only advance up the hill with infantry.
Yeah. And I know they're at the top of the hill. They're not all.
So I'm going to make a roll there. So I need.
Well, didn't we play before where, in so many inches they automatically reveal? That's what we used to play when we.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are within. So is there anything there?
We'll flip it over. No.
3. Okay. So I wasted bullets and nothing. But okay.
Good thing you're an American.
That's good. All right. All right. Next draw then.
All right. Next draw.
Let me grab my Scott. Hopefully it's you.
Yeah, I would like a turn. No, it's you.
Me? Oh. You know, let's turn it off because otherwise we're gonna have to move it around all the time.
Yeah.
And then we'll. But before. Okay, we just got back from a short intermission whereby we went down to eat some sous vide steaks made by Russ. Thank you, Russ.
Welcome.
We do things right here in the Honorable Brotherhood of Christian War Gamers and the Enoch Signo Society. We drink scotch and we have steaks every time we war game. Not actually every time. But before we went, tested some of our new rules already. This Army squad split up. Sergeant Rock here and the BAR guys stood by to provide covering fire. They did reconnaissance by fire on there, and while the unit advanced to the lip, they were unable. Well, it was a Panzerschreck team anyway, as we discovered. They did take 2 hits. They did Super 6s and got them, and so they took a pin, and they were revealed as a Panzerschreck team. The thing that happened is the we called in, artillery fire was called in, and the mortar fire was on this unit here. You can see there's a marker. And it missed by quite a margin, missed like 21 inches off the table. We always roll for scatter. So we're about to continue with the turn. We're going to do the next order pull. Okay, so we just had our first infantry on infantry action here. Russell's German unit came out of hiding there behind the building and started opening up on the half track. Using our rules where the crew served weapons deal a separate set of pins. They put 2 pins on the half track and 2 pins on the unit inside. And they also fired a Panzerfaust. But the Panzerfaust missed. So all I could do on the half track was put pins. The next move I had was my order die, and I had my paratroopers bail out. They saw that Panzerfaust coming. They all started diving over the side. They did pass their order test, so that reduced them to 1 pin. They needed, because of the close range and everything, they needed 4s to hit. And they did quite a number. They did 5 casualties, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 5
casualties on the Panzer Grenadier unit, which caused them to take a morale test, but they did pass it. So this is the situation now. It's getting a lot of fire here, but things could get intense very quickly if maybe next turn, if we don't clear out here, there's going to be some mortar shells coming in probably. We got the 88 there that could fire next turn as well. So, but I'm very close to moving into the bridge. So, check back with you in a little bit. All right, we have finished turn 1 for the Battle of Unter-Innsbruck. A couple interesting things that happened. Maybe not so interesting. So Russell's Panzerschreck team that had a pin on it before was activated, and it did pass the order test. So he ran to the edge of the building as maximum move, advanced, and took a pot shot. And he did hit the Sherman, but he got a crew stun, and it did penetrate the armor. He got a crew stun result, so that's why it has two pins on it, but no other damage. And it already moved, so it didn't suffer the extra down. And then my unit, my paratrooper light mortar came in and tried to triangulate an indirect shot. And at the 88, it missed very, very badly. I rolled a 1. The way we do this is it's whatever you roll minus what you have to roll. So it would be 6. I needed a 6. I rolled a 1, so that's a 5 times 2d6. I ended up rolling an 8 on that, so it scattered 40 inches. And it landed. It's not showing up. Yeah, okay. So, and it landed right there, and that's what created that crater. So it came very close, but didn't actually hit anything. All right, so that's I was able to activate all of my units, bringing them in, except for the Army medium machine gun team. So right now I have to deal with that Panzerschreck, certainly, and that half squad. I need to put some more pins on them and push them off the bridge. Because as you can see, there's probably a lot of bad stuff lurking around here. And I got continual artillery. I did not call in any artillery strikes yet, but I got that 88. I need to silence. I'm going to have to get a good... the problem is I can't see it that well, obviously. And I got that mortar team here. We got off-board artillery. So I have a couple chits that I may cash in. Russ, do you have any... And obviously that church is going to be a problem. I know there's going to be units in that church. So, Russ, do you have any thoughts on your strategy you want to announce to me so I can counter it?
Wipe you out.
All right. So not much going on here. All right. On with turn 2. All right. Now it's the beginning of turn 2. We have the issue. Russell called in an artillery strike, and he rolled the delay. And the way the bolt action instructions say that it's basically you can move it up to 2d6 inches away. But then we said, well, that's kind of stupid because then I would know where he put it and I would just not move near it. So what we're going to do is randomly scatter it now at the beginning of the turn. Now, it won't come in after the scatter necessarily. He'll have to roll again on that table to see if the fire effect happens. And if it's delayed again, it could happen again. So we're gonna roll 2d6 inches and the scatter die. And
where's the scatter die?
Scatter die is right here. Let's see what the roll is. 12 inches that way. Basically, okay, so
12 inches. Ooh. So
Pretty-
point of impact
Pretty
would
much
be
straight there. Okay.
there. So then that crop of trees.
All right.
We have to remember that was also under medium mortar.
Yeah, this was all. You could put another
Yeah.
target on there,
They're over
for,
there.
for the mortar.
I'll grab one since you're recording.
Okay.
Oh, Pip, you're in the way.
So yeah, that's still good. That fire mission, if it comes down next turn, that's close enough range to definitely do some damage to the Sherman. So we'll see what happens.
Now I have to roll 2 die, right?
For what?
The fire order. No, 1 die.
You have to do it when you call it in.
Oh, I thought it had to be. I thought it was because it was already called in. It was just delayed to the start of the second turn.
All right, that's true. Let's do that. Yeah. So it's 1 die.
Yeah, 1 die, and we're just basically seeing if they're delayed again.
It's delayed again. Yeah.
1. I think that means they can't do it.
Yes, it does. It means, yeah. So you rolled a 1. That means like see you next time. So this goes off the board. All right.
So that shit's done with then, right? Yeah, because I used
and you did cash in the chit for that.
so I have two
Okay.
for the rest of the-
So
okay.
on with turn 2. Check back with you in a little bit. Okay, so we had our first unit down of the game. This paratrooper squad here I gave them an advance order. So they opened fire first and then moved. There formerly was where that dead guy is. There was a Panzer Grenadier squad. They were the one that were down. They had a couple pins and they had 1 pin and they were at half strength already. So they rolled the dice for a firefight, which was good. They ended up taking out 3 of my paratroopers. But I ended up wiping out the whole unit. But they have 2 pins on them from the machine gun fire, but they securely made it inside the building, and we'll have to try to rally or do something like that next turn. All right. So the state of the board, I am advancing towards my objective. So let's see. Let's hope I can pull something off here. All right. Okay, we're approaching the end of turn 2, and a couple interesting things happened. Russell's Panzer Grenadiers popped out to move into position. I called another mortar strike down on the 88. I'm needing an only a 5 this time, but I still missed. This unit here rallied and moved into cover here to try and observe the spot. Nothing happened. The half track that was here moved up there and got taken out by the 88 for its trouble. So that's Russell's first ever victory for the 88. He also fired his mortar, his multi-mortar, and it missed. And then I rallied my Sherman, so I intend to do something next turn to try and drive up. But I need to take out that 88, or otherwise it's going to be murder on my troops as we're coming out here. So check back with you in a bit. This may be the decisive moment of the game. Russell's commander called in another artillery strike on this unit. And he rolled a 1, which was a miscalculation, which allowed me to move to any target within 24 inches. And in 24 inches was that Panzer Grenadier unit. And then within 8 inches of that, as we rolled, was also hiding in this excellent ambush position, this Stug, which of course, probably by the time I would have had anybody out, he'd have been right up my ass or right on my side. But so fortunately for him, neither of them took a direct hit, but they both took several D3 pins. The Panzer Grenadiers took 3, and the Stug took 2. So we'll see how this shakes out in the next turn. All right, we are at the end of turn 3. I think we've revealed the positions of all the hidden troops at this point, right?
All but 1.
All but 1. Okay, all the commander, I guess. The church was quiet for so long, but as this troop got hit with a mortar, lost its NCO, did not rally, but I advanced with the lieutenant. My lieutenant ran up to give him moral support, but then they took a lot of other pins because the Waffen SS in the church opened up on them. I've been his sappers. These are also from the Secrets of the Third Reich. They're unhappily rushing the bridge. I can only imagine what they're doing. Student here is consolidated after winning the assault. The 88 fired at the troops in here and missed, thankfully. But we do have the medium machine guns up there. Those guys took a hell of a pounding. They have 5 pins on them now. They're in a bad way. So even if the best thing you could do is like rally and wipe them all out. But then they're basically going to be out of action for another turn. So I have the consideration now that I have to win this to secure the bridge and advance. Otherwise, the advance is going to be delayed a long time because I have theoretically armor and mechanized troops coming up, but they're not going to be able to cross it. Not at this point, anyway. So I need to take out that 88. I did get a hit on it. I killed one guy and it has a pin on it. And then there's that. I know there's that stug waiting there, but that mortar is also a bit of a pain in the ass. But at least it has to make a new target now. It's definitely been making me move. So my concern is obvious. I'm not revealing anything to the opponent here by saying I gotta sweep that bridge, keep the sappers from taking it, or frankly, if I don't know if he wants to blow up the 88, or an artillery strike. There could be things going on.
No, he can't. I don't think from the 88.
Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe might not be able to.
Yeah, that quarter. Maybe that's about it.
So what? Of course that missed artillery strike. That lieutenant will think twice before calling. So yeah, Russ, do you have any thoughts on? And I'll take a look at from the German side of the disposition of my forces. We do have the Sherman moving up, and I'm going to have to pound the hell out of this church. Any thoughts on what you're worried about here, or
that bridge?
Yeah, the bridge is got to be what it is. So it's one of those things that like we could storm across on the other cable access bridge, or make a move with through the boats or something like that. But then, we still gotta. Then we're gonna have the small unit. We have some units of infantry on the other side, trying to hold on for hours and hours until an armored vehicle launch bridge comes up, which I don't have in my model collection anyway. So, all right, let's go on with turn 4. Okay, a couple of very big developments here. Well, first, let's start here. I ordered my first order. I gave my lieutenant. He had a U-man snap to action move. Ordered this unit that was taking heavy pins to rally while he went down and called in an artillery strike. The artillery strike was against the church, and the artillery strike was delayed. He cashed in his last chit on that one, so he won't be able to re-roll anything. Now, this unit badly failed their rally, so they went down and got yet another pin. So they're in a bad position. The sappers moved out to try and blow the bridge, and they failed. They rolled a 1, so they botched the guy, I guess, dropped the detonator in the canal or something like that, or they cut the wire, whatever they're trying to do. Otherwise, there's a very good chance that bridge would have been destroyed. My next move was to have this squad here advance, move right up to the wall, and open fire with submachine guns and shotguns, which were at long range, with the BAR and the rifles, and they actually inflicted 5 casualties, but there's all 5 so that was wiped out the entire unit. So all the sappers are done. So the immediate threat to the bridge is removed for now. We'll check back in a bit. All right, it's the end of the turn. So you can see the stug came out, tried to take out the bridge, and missed. Multiple artillery strikes were called on the bridge, and all were delayed. My Sherman tried to hit the stug, missed. Bazooka team ran up, tried to hit the stug, also missed. That half track actually put some effective machine gun fire on the SS in the church, but that has an artillery strike on it too. That's also delayed, so they'll be resolved fairly soon. The mortar team back here fired again on the 88, missed this time. Thinking actually next time I'm going to try and lay a smoke barrage right in front of it to knock it out, basically make it ineffective. Now this, so his 88 fired into the building, killed 3 of my guys in the squad, but only did one pin on them. But still, they were required to take a morale test, which they passed. But this unit here only lost 1 guy, but it has 8 pin markers through the fire from the medium machine gun, which did 3 pins, and these guys fired, and then the Modus fired on them, put another pin on them. So they're at the verge of breaking. If I do 2 more pins, doesn't matter if they take any more casualties, but we'll see what's going to happen. But he's obviously trying to blow the bridge, and if he blows the bridge, I lose this game for now anyway. I would have to withdraw, or at least set up shop here and wait for some more things. But we're going to resolve the artillery strikes now. I'll check back in. Okay, so the artillery fire, the American artillery fire was called in, and it was a 9-inch range on the church. Unfortunately, the church was not directly hit. The stug was not directly hit, but it was within range, and the bridge was also within range, but was not directly hit. So we didn't roll for any damage on the bridge. But the stug took three pins.
Yep.
And then
The SS took 2.
And another 2 pins for the SS. So they're bolted up in there pretty good. But now, so the German fire on the bridge, he had 2 order calls on the bridge, and they were both delayed again. We'll continue with the last turn now. All right, update. First turns of the game. Mortar strike came in, did some damage to the bridge, but not enough. This is the automatic mortar team. Hit them. It shouldn't have been able to destroy the bridge, but he rolled a 6, so I was like, roll again. Would have needed a 10, but then he got 2. So they put a nice crater in the bridge, which makes it like the highways we have around where I live. So it's still perfectly operational for cross-country vehicles. My Sherman opened fire on the stug, missed. But then the medium machine gun opened fire, and poor got enough pins. Didn't kill anybody, I don't think. It didn't matter in the unit to... we didn't even roll to kill because he got 2 more pins in the unit, and they dissolved. So I've now wiped out all but the SS infantry. That's the only thing that's left. But they're ensconced in there. So let's see what happens. All right, that is the end of the game for tonight. As you see, a strike on the bridge did destroy it. German strike on the bridge. So I'm denied the ability to cross there. But I called it another strike on the church. It did land, but it didn't actually hit the church. But they have 9 pins on them, the SS. I couldn't get any more pins on them. The stug has quite a few. The stug is also immobilized, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was from the bazooka. The bazooka blew the track off the stug. So my units are all rallying here. All my units are actually okay, except for that one that lost its NCO. But I can't go. I can try and enforce that. But what we're going to have to do, my guess is the Germans are going to call a withdrawal or call for reinforcements and try and dig in on their fallback positions, which they already have established down there. And then we'll resume this game on this table with more forces as the Americans are going to try to cross the bridge, because they do have this bridge here, which they can get across with infantry, but then they're going to have to hold it against any kind of vehicles that come through. But they really need to get through on the road and to seize both sides of the canal. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to call this an American loss, even though quite a lot of damage was done to the German force. But the Americans are going to be held up for several days or so. So, all right, and we'll be back with a discussion of how we like the rules and how things worked out, and what we would change for next time. All right, this is the Attention Span Labs action report for the Battle of Unter-Innsbruck. As I mentioned, it was, I don't think there's any other way to put it, Russ. What do you think? I'd call it an American loss. The Americans did not achieve their objective, which was to get a bridgehead on the other side of the bridge. It was denied to them by German, many attempts at artillery fire. Yep. And finally it came through at the very end. There's other bridges across, but it's only infantry in this area. They're going to have to build a bridge. So, American loss, you could say, well, killed a lot of Germans, but you don't win wars by sending home ears. So Americans are stuck here. I don't know how we're going to play for the next match. Probably on the same board. I do like the board. I spent a lot of time setting it up too, so I don't really want to change it. I think it looks good.
Very good.
But what about the rules? That we tried out the new rules, and why don't you give me your impression on of the rules that we. I'll just go over what we did. So the machine guns basically do standalone machine guns, medium machine guns, and heavy machine guns will do. We said D3 pins. Otherwise, light machine guns, automatic weapons within a squad. If they hit and rifles hit, we count that as a separate pin for each. So the volume fire is more effective. For an advance, you can shoot and then move. Mm-hmm. You can split a squad so that part of the squad fires while the other tries to assault, which we did that a couple times. And then basically more or less, not quite unlimited range, but mostly for for rifles, and so for most things, pretty much unlimited range. And their maximum range in the game rules, we just treat it as their long range penalty.
Yep.
So those were the rules. What did you think about them and how they worked out? What would you keep? What would you change?
I liked them. I like the pin mechanics with the machine guns. We did change that on the fly.
What we decided was that it was overpowered a bit, but the D3 pins. So what we did, we moved it down to D2. So it's either going to be 1 or 2, and about a 50-50 split. But D3 seems a bit overpowered.
Yeah.
But we actually had one unit completely wiped out with 10 pin markers, which actually has never happened to any. But and they only had one casualty too. So but they were just peppered with artillery fire, everything.
The SS.
The SS came within one of
at the end
it.
after rallying.
After rallying, they were pounded again.
They almost got wiped too.
So yeah, I think what changed there, I think it works, but it should be D2 pins.
Yeah. Just
for the heavy and medium machine guns. And I guess you would do that for the light autocannons too, for the light and you know. Then anything that's sort of like automatic fire like that. Then the other thing we did, we allowed everybody to call in artillery strikes as there was artillery available, so we said that. So, but I think going forward. It should be anybody could call an artillery strike if they have a radio,
but once per turn.
Once per turn.
Yep.
It actually was super because they kept getting delayed. There was that one that was the botched, and it terrible miscalculation, and it actually landed. That's how that first unit got
all those pins. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the two things I would change.
That also caused the stug to come out.
Yeah. Boy, that stug! If I would have driven down there, I would have been pounded. Because you could go back and look at the video, but he was parked on the side of the building there. There was no other way to see him or get at him, and I would have had to advance down the road. He'd open up with that medium howitzer right on the side of that Sherman or into the other armored vehicles. So
that was the plan.
Your heavy mortar with the automatic mortar, that was the one sci-fi weapon we had. That was pretty because you could get to roll 3 times.
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot more. I don't want to say more effective because it didn't do much more, but it did its job. It made you move.
Yeah, it definitely because once when it is targeting the same unit, it's getting easier to hit each time. So I definitely had to he was. With the spotters, we're also relying people to be able to use the spotters. Maybe we'd say we have to have designated spotters next time, rather than saying every unit. But we figure if the units have radios, they can call back to them just as well as they can call back out of the field.
To anybody,
we didn't change anything with cover or anything like that. But we did do an assault where the group split and moved. Yep. We did it actually twice. When it didn't end in assault. Because the unit got wiped out before we hit there, but the Panzerschreck team got assaulted, and they took. I had this basically just the sergeant got back, and it was Sergeant Rock with his 2 Tommy guns. So he's forced to reckon himself, and then the BAR guy, while the rest of the guys moved up with rifles, SMGs, and shotguns, and it might have worked completely, but they were only it was a 2-man unit, Panzerschreck, and that Panzerschreck. I was just lucky he didn't take out the tank. He did hit it and then just did a crew stun on it. But it was a good spot for that. But one thing that hindered you was that you had you could not fire the Panzerfaust inside buildings, which is I think none of them bazookas, none of them can fire the Piat even. Although a friend of mine said the Piat should be able to because it's actually spring launched. And in A Bridge Too Far, I believe they're firing Piats from out in the windows of that building.
I think
Anthony Hopkins' house that he took over there.
Yep, I think you're right. I think they were using those. Yep.
But otherwise, it makes sense because the back blast is too much, and you would f you up. So we're going to have a rematch at this battlefield, and there's going to have to be. I don't have a bridging unit, so we're going to have to come up with something to do it, or there's going to have to be an aerial assault using. I have the helicopters.
You have the
and the jump mechs and stuff like that. You have to do something like that.
Yeah, I might have to call it the heavy infantry.
Yeah, and I think and maybe it'll turn into. We'll see if we can get. We'll work out something over the week to see where reinforcements come in and everything. Mm-hmm. So. But I think it was overall. I think it was this. In my opinion, it was a success. Those rules worked pretty well.
Yeah,
a couple of changes we had to make because they were a little bit overpowered.
Yep.
But it had a lot better not worrying about the range for your rifles and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
I understand if you want to say that there's a lot of horizontal compression, and it's actually quite a huge distance. But then you're like, well, then the houses are really big too, and all this stuff.
Yeah,
so I think it's better just to leave it like that and say. Because a lot of games, like there's not really like in Xenos Rampant, which also would have been a good rules to play. But it's basically like ranges the whole table, and it's long range if it's over 12 inches. Like it's definitely it cuts down on calculating. I have this or that, and looking through your list of especially some of these German units because they have they have 9 different weapons in there. Assault rifles, SMGs, rifles, and then you're like, I'm fine with them all.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of a pain, but
because you have to. Because if you don't, then you're like, okay, well, I'm only shoot my rifle. So
yeah, and then the light machine gun and everything too.
They're just sitting there, not
But yeah, so the anything you would do differently? Other than not call in that artillery strike on your own.
No, I still call in artillery strikes. I'm danger close all day, every day. I play Russians.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess it doesn't matter to them.
Play, quote unquote, one game.
You gotta,
but yeah, I don't think I would change it. The only thing I might change is the. I don't know if I would have so many units in blinds to start because I also forgot where my sappers were.
That's true. So he did. So he laid the cards down face down, and then as they were either observed or fired on or something like that, it would roll to see if they turned them over, but they wouldn't necessarily tell us. So, but he had a card written down. But while they were face down, he couldn't remember which units were. Which that's a actually that's we didn't really do that. But when I ran the game with that giant ants at Cold Wars, I didn't remember which ones had. I mean, I knew what the face cards were.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember where they were.
Where they were on the board. Yep.
But I was the GM, so it didn't matter. But yeah, that's something. Got to think about that. I think maybe the way to do that is to get a photograph of the board in each person, and then they can take and circle and say, "Oh, this is my."
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, that's.
So, all right. So I hope you. I don't think I have anything. Do you have anything else to add to it?
No.
All right,
good game.
So this is I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it more than the usual game of Bolt Action. Oh, that one thing because of the pins, so much volume of fire going down, we came very close to running out of pin markers, and that's from like 3 starter sets.
Yeah.
2 conflict 47 and 1 Bolt Action starter sets. That's a lot. That's a lot of pin markers to use. But it was a good game, and I hope you enjoyed the battle report. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you use these rules or other rules to enliven your game's bolt action, improve fire maneuver. And let me know what you think of the alternate history Pellucidar campaign as well. So thank you very much for watching. God bless. Attention Span Lab signing off.